If your birthday is in January, I'm sorry about this. January is by far the worst month of the entire year. You go from this magical, enchanting season that is December with presents and gifts and magic and enchantment, and it's so nice, to this cold, desolate, frozen wasteland that is January. What is January even good for? Returning to school, returning to work? Yeah, January, I don't know if I really know about January, to be honest. Today, the concept here, it's a little abstract. We take Minecraft January, so like the cold biomes in Minecraft, and we turn them back into December. We take the cold biomes and make them a dimension. That's the best segue I could make, so it's gonna have to work. Perfect poetic intro or not, this concept is really cool. So this concept was created by BroOMG. The concept is called The Frost. The Frost is a 1.18 dimension concept, also a late New Year's update. Well, thank you so much, BroOMG. I really appreciate it. Now, I gotta know that currently this pack is a WIP. Excuse me. It's a work in progress. It's not finished quite yet, but so far, from what is actually here, look at how good this looks like. I don't know. I guess this combination right here, it gets me every single time. The ice block right there with the snow, like the colors combining, it's just amazing. I don't even know what to say about it. It's just so amazing. It's a really, really interesting dimension concept with 10 total unique biomes. 6 of them on the surface, 4 of them down in the caves. We're going to check it out. When you create a world with this pack, this is the first experience that you're going to get. This is the exact vibe, how it's going to look, the exact smell. This is exactly it. So survival begins off pretty normally. You start a world, you go find the tree, you hit the tree a bunch, and you get a bunch of wood, and yeah, you just repeat the process over and over and over again, fully in survival, until you have a full stack of logs. That's pretty amazing. Now you know how it goes around here. Your guy is a vanilla main. I've said it before. Basically, I like the vanilla game. I like packs that fit into the vanilla game and are basically seamless. They don't change too much. Minecraft is a nice game, and some of the mods can get super technical. Super technical is really cool one day, but maybe not today. I swear to get into some of the super technical mods, I need like a personal trainer, a personal teacher, a life coach, a wellness coach, everything. I need all of it. So anyways, in this pack, what we're going to do is first get these 3 blocks, throw them on the ground like that, and then we're going to wait. We're going to combine these 3 blocks on the ground just like that. And by the way, we're going to do this in survival. Now, while this is happening, we're going to find an enchantment table inside of our world. Any enchantment table will work, except it specifically has to be on these coordinates right here. But we're going to find the enchantment table, then we're going to break it by hand. With our hand, we're going to stop halfway, then we're going to resume doing this again. This is definitely how you have to do it. I promise. Break the enchantment table with your hand. So it's going to take a little while, but eventually you'll be able to do it. Right below that enchantment table will be an ender chest. Inside of your ender chest, we'll have a command block right here that we actually can't use in survival. So we have this command block right there, which is pretty cool, and then a button. We're going to put the button in front of that, hit that button, and then we're sent into the dimension. Now we need to be careful because we might fall or suffocate or something terrible. Okay, I'll be the first to admit that that's a little weird. It's a really long, complicated process, and it's not even true. There was a lie. Right now, unfortunately, the pack isn't really like streamlined into normal survival. If you want to get to the dimension, this is the command that you're going to have to run. However, maybe BroOMG has some other plans here, because right here in the pack description currently has 2 planned updates left. Maybe one of those updates is actually fitting it into survival or something. Maybe it's not. So anyways, run the command and then we'll be sent over to this dimension. Now be careful, when you run the command, you might actually end up inside of blocks. That wasn't a joke at all. It happened to me in survival. That would be like really, really terrible, or you might be dropped or just something like that. So be careful. Now, the dimension, right off the bat, we're going to notice that it's nighttime. The thing with the Frost dimension, which is the name of this place, is it's nighttime, always. Except it's not like dead, middle of the night. It's like the beautiful sunset hour. It's golden hour right here inside of this dimension constantly. Now, inside of this dimension, custom biomes. There are some custom biomes and different generation things that happen here. Right now, we're in an ocean, so we might as well check that out. Look at this, the ocean. It has these deep trenches with like light inside of the trenches. It's like sea pickles and things like that. But the deep trenches inside of this thing, I would have never expected it. Deep trenches are such a cool concept. Like with the whole world getting deeper thing in 1.18, you know how it goes. Deeper trenches, definitely a huge missed opportunity. I really hope that one day the developers will come back and reassess the oceans and make like some deep cuts in the ocean. Like this generation right here, even though it looks like relatively normal, it wouldn't happen. I guarantee it in vanilla Minecraft, it couldn't. Now, these biomes are actually like fully finished. If I check the F3 screen right there, Glacial Ocean. That's the name of this biome right here. So the Glacial Ocean, it's very, very cool, but it gets even better. Coral reefs inside of the Glacial Ocean. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. You could tell me if coral reefs are actually in cold areas in the world. But they're here, and I love coral reefs. They're amazing. All of the colors are so nice. So coral reefs inside of the dimension, which is great. Now, speaking of colors, we need to move over to a new biome right here and check out a new color. I am so easily impressed, okay? I'll admit it, but the leaves inside of this biome right here, the boreal forest right here, this is the first version of that biome, but the leaves right here, I guess I'm just a simple person, but oak leaves inside of this biome being cold, like this is Bedrock Edition or something. Like, what is even going on? Hey, the leaves, they're recolored. It makes me so happy. The most simple thing, but it makes me so happy. Recoloring of leaves based on biomes. So it's something, obviously, that is already built into the vanilla game, but I feel like it's something that isn't really, like, taken advantage of at all. Like, look at this thing right here. Here, hold on. Let's try that again. Look at this thing right here with night vision. Good idea that I just had. Look at this thing. It's like almost like a frosty green color, and I love it. Like the pale green in these leaves, so cool looking, and it carries over to the vines as well. Now, the leaves are really cool, but the trees. So there are custom trees all over this forest. Basically, they're like a spruce tree, but make it like really, really tall and stretch it out here and make it long. They're not the big giant spruce trees that you'll find in the Mega Taiga, but they're like the equivalent size. They're pretty similar. Now, in terms of mobs inside of this dimension, we're going to find a lot of cold mobs. I've seen rabbits, I've seen goats. Also, because it's nighttime, it's dark without the night vision, which means hostile mobs. Hostile mobs definitely exist inside of the frost dimension, so you're going to need to be careful. I've seen zombies, I've seen strays, I've seen witches so far. Also spiders, so it looks like it's just like basically normal hostile mob spawning, and powder snow. Powder snow all over this dimension, and the powder snow this time actually sometimes gets a little bit deep. Check this out. This is like 5 blocks right there. In survival, that would be potentially like really, really dangerous. Leather armor, specifically just leather boots really, probably like the best idea that you could ever have before coming to this dimension. Anyways, next biome. The next thing that we're going to take a look at is the Frosted Tundra. So the Frosted Tundra is where we actually started this video off. Lots of packed ice, lots of snow, also powder snow inside of this place too. You can kind of tell because of the snow layers that you can see on the ground. Yeah, dangerous. The powder snow for sure. Now, the aesthetics of this place with the ice spikes running through here, amazing. I think what's meant to be going on here is basically ice spike rivers. How does the water form into spikes in the rivers, you ask? Well, that's a really good question. And again, not a scientist, so don't ask me. Ask somebody else. I don't know. Ask Wendigoon. He seems pretty smart. In this particular world, we have this massive area that looks like an ocean or something. But no, it is actually a frozen river, or at least somewhere in here. Yeah, right here, frozen river. So gigantic frozen river area in here, and then check this thing out. This rock right here, I mean, I know compared to other rocks inside of the world, other land formations, it's really not much, but I just feel like it's really, really nice looking. Like you have the forest around it, the water around it, hill in the middle, which is really cool. And then this. And then this. This, my favorite part. Alright, but I actually owe you a small correction here. So, I keep mistaking this stuff for packed ice. It's actually blue ice all over the place, which insanely overpowered. If you think about it in survival, like, this is a lot of blue ice. You could get tons and tons of this stuff in survival. But remember, you can't really get here in survival right now. But yeah, potentially really overpowered. But this spot right here. So this is called the Spiked Peaks. And look at this. It's got stripes. The striped spiked peaks right here. It's kind of like the Badlands biome, but like layer of snow, layer of ice, layer of snow. And then the spikes on top of it. This is perfection right here. This is literal perfection. I mean, look at this place over here in the distance with the snow, then the ice and the spikes and just all of it. I can't say anything other than perfection. I mean, if this had to be a month right here, for sure it would be December. It's like the gift that keeps on giving and giving and giving. We start off with like really nice color combinations and we have the spikes all over the place, which they look great. Then we look around and we see the layers. It's like a cake in here, an onion even or something. Just layers and layers, and then the color combination again. Looks really good, and then you get up close, and finally, the grand finale, it's actually blue ice. It's not just packed ice. I mean, you have packed ice too, but also blue ice inside of this place. It's amazing. Now, sometimes inside of this dimension, you're going to find strange-looking spikes, like this thing right here. What is it? Well, this is actually that weird, like, river spiking thing that's going on. We have the vanilla spikes, and then we have the custom spikes right here. Two very distinct and different things, but both here. Also, I should say that this dimension can get tall. So 204 right here, we're basically utilizing all of the overworld. We can have low areas, we can have really, really high areas. There's a lot here, including a Badlands. That must be a bug. So I'm not sure if it's a bug. To be fair, it might not be. This is a different biome. It's called the permafrost. The permafrost is actually a cave biome. The first of the cave biomes that we're looking at. It's got terracotta right here. I'm not sure if it's intentional or not. Seems a little random, but it is definitely cool. Now the permafrost is basically the ice spikes biome, so like stripes all over the place. But it's down inside of the caves now. Down here, because we're in the caves now, we have a little bit more snow and a little bit less ice. The stripes look really good still. So I'm not geared up, like, at all. This is not a good idea, but from the ground, like, the perspective of this cave, looking around with all of the snow and the ice, it's so cool looking. Like, it's always so different, flying around and walking around on the ground. The cave right here, it just looks so good. Also flowing water, so I guess it's not that cold. Cave biomes, though. Let's talk a little bit more about cave biomes. So there are a total of 4 different cave biomes inside of this pack. Now, some of the caves are going to generate without any biomes at all. So this is kind of just like the normal caves in the overworld. These caves right here, they're deep slate caves because we're deep. They're stone caves because we're a little higher up. All of the caves in the ore generation, from what I've seen at least, this seems to be exactly the same. Of course, other than, you know, snow and ice all over the place, that changes generation a bit. Next up, however, we have the Frosty Caves, specifically the best Frosty Cave that I was able to find. When I was setting up for this video, tried to fly around in the world, look around at what I could find, and I found this beautiful work of art right here. Look at this thing. Blue ice, packed ice all over the place. There's also a little bit of granite coming in here, but ignore the granite, it ruins the vibe. Okay, so right now we have night vision, no night vision. Insanely dark. But if you were to have night vision or like torches or something and start lighting this area up, you will see the beauty of this area. So this reminds me of like the lush floor ground with the clay pools and everything. And then we have the giant spikes connecting the ceiling to the floor, or at least trying to do that sometimes. But like this place right here with all the ice and the water inside of this thing, it literally feels cold. And then just darkness. If you cut out the lights inside of this cave, I feel like it starts to create an optical illusion, kind of. So if we like look around inside of the cave and just ignore the water kind of gives it away. But looking around inside of the cave, like over here is a good spot. It almost looks like it's on some kind of like grayscale gradient or something. Like it's such a weird optical illusion in here, just like ice. That's like literally how you create it. It's really interesting. So those are 2 of the cave biomes. They're really cool and they're really cold. There are 2 more cave biomes, and they're actually on the exact opposite end of the spectrum here. The other 2 cave biomes, they're actually very nethery. Cave biome number 1, the Nether Caverns biome. So this actually isn't the Nether. This is a literal biome inside of this dimension. Really, really different here. But once you're inside of it, like fully inside of it, so like down here, this might as well be the Nether. I mean, the generation is using the cave generation, I believe, here. But we have quartz, we have pillars, we have the Nether gold right there. This is like basically the Nether, with like weird windows into basically the overworld. Yeah, you know what? I guess this pack is like optical illusions. This looks like one of those portal mods where you have the Nether portal set up and you can see through into the Nether. But nope, we're just in the overworld the whole time. Also inside of the overworld here, Nether mobs. Different, but kind of cool. Which had me wondering about piglins. What if a piglin spawned here inside of this biome? Well, if a piglin spawns here, not too good for the piglin. It is going to shake and shake and shake and then just convert over to one of these things. So I'm not too sure if a piglin can spawn here. I haven't been able to see one. But if it did, it would have just turned to zombified. So it doesn't really matter. Keep going with another vibes though, because this next biome definitely has them too. Except this time, it's not like just entirely the nethers. So we're still using the overworld cave shapes here. This time we're using some nether blocks, basalt. But then we also have some overworld blocks too, like tough and smooth basalt. Or maybe the tough is an iron ore vein in here now that I look at it. There's a lot of iron ore. That's definitely 100% an iron ore vein. But the biome in here. So without any night vision, this place is really, really creepy looking. I love the particle effects. I think that's from the Basalt Delta biome. We have the lava pools all over the ground here. We have blackstone on the floor, basalt on the floor, smooth basalt all over the walls inside of this place. If you like basalt, if you need a lot of it, this is like basically the perfect spot for it, and it's so bright here. Also, we're going to find more nether mobs here. The magma cube. The magma cube will spawn inside the lava pools here. It's an interesting concept. I mean, I don't know how I fully feel about the idea of putting nether stuff inside of the overworld, but at the same time, imagine a biome like this that is like a volcanic eruption or something like this, just a wasteland inside of the overworld, like deep down, like really, really rarely too, where it's kind of like a hint at the nether or something, but like basically some kind of gigantic magma pit. Like, that's a really, really cool idea. Second to last biome that we have today is another boreal forest biome. This biome's name is Boreal Forest M. So you remember we were taking a look at the trees earlier, they're custom trees. Well, this biome has even more custom trees, except this time, custom trees got big. Like, these tree trunks are now 2x2, and the other one, they were 1 block, 2x2, and really, really tall, tons and tons of leaves, and rare. This is maybe the rarest biome out of all of them. I've had the most trouble finding this thing. It will only generate on peaks or on islands. So islands, that's exactly what I got right here. Giant island in here with huge trees overtaking the whole island. This feels like fantasy vibes for sure. Also sand right there, lots and lots of sand, and really, really steep. Now, I'm not sure if that's the pack or if it's just the world generating strange, but this is like amplified. It might as well be an amplified world. How do you even climb this thing ever? I guess you don't, which means good news for the tree. It will live forever. Look at how tall these things are. This goes way past the clouds, super, super high up. 246. 246 inside of this biome, all the way up the top of this tree right here. Yep, that's tall. It's really cool. I like it. You know what I also like? Saving the best for last. Grand finales. Grand finales, I think I've done it. I've saved, in my opinion, what is the best biome for last. So this biome is called the Ice Bogs biome. Look at this blaze with frozen, icy trees. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like it. Like, it's so cool looking. It's a simple concept, like ice dripping from the trees, but like, I would have never thought of it. It's so cool. Also, inside of this biome, we're going to find a lot of grass this time and stone. So the Ice Bogs biome is like basically the warmest biome in this entire dimension. The ice, the snow in this biome, it's melting. It's nice. I really like it. This biome gives me an overworld swamp biome vibe. I think it's because of how the grass is mixing around in here with the water, and then we have the trees all over the place and the stone too. Even though the stone's not in the swamp, it's just like it's just like different. It doesn't fit in exactly. Kind of like the overworld swamp. It really stands out. An entire dimension that is a cold, frozen wasteland, just like the month that we are currently existing in. It's a really cool idea. I mean, after all, if you think about it, we have an entire dimension based off of hot things, like insanely, insanely hot things, the Nether. Why not have the exact opposite? What do you think? Drop it down below. Today, huge thank you to Patron Gang, A. Johnson6494, Medical Boomstick, and Swoopy Louvers. Thank you all so much for the support. If you enjoy Data Pack Showcase videos like these ones right here, well, I've got great news for you. On the end card will be my Data Pack Showcase playlist to check it out. We've checked out tons of other cool packs before, like a Witherland Dimension pack, an entire dimension for the Wither. Links are in the description, check them out, It's been your boy. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone.